What is up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today, I'm going to go over my top 5 personal finance tips that have helped me personally and hopefully will help you. So let's go ahead and dive in. Number 1, turn your active income into passive income. Now, a lot of people aren't even aware of the difference between active and passive income. Active income is going to be the money that you make from basically selling your time. So when you go to work and you clock in, you are selling your time to your employer, and every time they pay you, if they're paying you per hour or even as a salary, you're still selling your time. Anytime you put in an hour of work and you get money from that, that is considered active income because you are actively working for that money. Now, even if you aren't an hourly employee, and let's say you are self-employed, even if you are self-employed and you're still having to work for money, like that's still considered active income. So even if you have like clients and whatnot, you're still selling your service, AKA your time, and working for money. So that would still be included as active income. Passive income, on the other hand, is money that your money makes you. So this can be in the form of stocks. This could be in the form of even real estate. Maybe if you own a business, but you don't necessarily work in the business, and maybe you have it all automated, that would be considered passive income since you specifically aren't actively working to generate the money. Your investments, your ownership of whatever asset is what's generating that money. So your investment is making you money. Your money's making money. So the idea, in order to actually start to build wealth, is to turn the money you make with your active income into passive income by using the money you make from your job to buy stocks, real estate, any sort of ownership in assets that generate money, that generate income, AKA passive income. Number two is to avoid debt that does not go up in value. Over 80% of Americans have some sort of debt. So most people have some sort of debt. Now, obviously, like I said, some debt could be useful, such as maybe if you take out a loan for real estate tends to go up over time. So if you're buying and holding a house or a rental property for the long term, that could be debt that benefits you. But debt like credit card debt, consumer debt, that debt is going to be more or less hurtful to you because you have nothing to show for it, especially if you're just buying like clothes or going out there and paying for vacations on credit cards. This debt is damaging, especially if it has a high interest rate, just like most credit cards do. So the one thing to keep in mind when you're considering some sort of debt is debt's definitely a double-edged sword. It can benefit you, but a lot of the times it does more harm than good for most people. When you take on debt, you're essentially selling your future income to somebody else in exchange for whatever you're going in debt for. So my philosophy when it comes to debt is to stay far away from it unless you can somehow benefit from the debt. But even then, it can be pretty risky, so make sure you do your research and know what you're getting into. I personally don't like to owe people money, so if I can avoid debt, I'm gonna avoid it, unless it's for something that's gonna be going up in value. Maybe I'd consider it then. Number 3, diversify your income. 2020 was a hard year for a lot of people, and I think ultimately what it did is exposed how risky it is depending on a single income. The truth is, most companies aren't going to hesitate to cut you if it means saving money on their ends. As harsh as that sounds, it's important now than ever to make sure you have some sort of diversified income. That way, if you do lose an income source due to a tough economy, or maybe your business goes under, or maybe your job fires you, you'll have some sort of additional income to fall back on and not be completely paralyzed for if you were only depending on one source of income. How can you diversify your income? Well, there's several ways. You can start some sort of side hustle. You can start investing in some sort of asset that generates income for you, especially if you're buying a rental home and that rental home is generating some cash flow for you. That can be another income source on top of what you have and be in a better position. Number 4, invest $20 of every $100 you earn. If there's one thing you take away from this video, invest 20% of your income, do whatever you want with the other 80%, and you're gonna be in a better financial position than most people out there if you stay consistent and continually invest 20% of your income. This includes when you get a raise. If you get a raise, you don't start bringing down that investment. You don't go from 20% to like 15%. Continually invest the 20%, no matter what, no matter how much you earn, invest a minimum of 20%, and you are gonna be able to retire in a much better position than most people. Most people struggle to even invest 5%. So if you're investing 20%, you're gonna give yourself a massive cushion when it comes to developing your retirement nest egg and investing for the long term. All right, and last but not least, number 5, don't invest in what you don't understand. Now, if you just spend 5 minutes on social media, on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and you type in investing or stocks, you're gonna see a bunch of people start recommending different stocks, different assets to start investing in. They're gonna tell you it's the next Amazon. And the truth is, they themselves probably don't really truly understand the asset that they're preaching. So rule number 5 is super important. And I think if you take this to heart and truly don't invest in what you don't understand, you'll likely be a much better investor than the average person, because a lot of the times people fall into the hype as soon as something's starting to pump up. FOMO is going to be released and everybody's going to want to jump in to get some of that action. And by the time you give in to FOMO, it's usually too late. And most of the time that asset that was hyped up is going to fall back. And once it starts to fall, people who invested just because of the hype, they're not going to have any reason to hold on to it because they don't even know what they're investing to begin with. So as soon as they start to see the red and everything start to go negative, they're going to get scared and probably sell out. So investing on FOMO is never a good idea because, first of all, if you don't know what you're investing in, what's going to convince you to hold when things inevitably go through a rocky time? Like, you're not going to hold if things go down 20% if you don't understand what the asset that you're holding is, right? So that's why it's super important. Make sure you do your research. Don't fall into the hype. Don't invest in what you don't understand. Thank you so much for watching. Those are my 5 personal finance tips. I hope you found them helpful. Let me know in the comments what type of personal finance tips you would add. And thank you so much again for watching this video. Have a great rest of your day.